All right, everyone, I wanted to talk to you today about how to warm up your dressage horse. And the warm up is a really important part of your ride because it's really where you set the tone for your ride. And you want to get your horse both mentally and physically warmed up and focused and ready for the ride ahead. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and like my channel, and also check out the links below. Be sure that you're on my email list. So this is Uma today, and I'm going to go through my warm up with you. The most important part of the warm-up is thinking about the base of the training scale. So rhythm, suppleness, and connection are the three most important things that you want to accomplish during your warm-up. First off, for the warm-up, it's always important to give your horse a chance to just walk for a good 10 to 15 minutes before doing much. I've already walked her for a while. If it's possible to let your horse just walk on a loose rein, that's a good thing. I know if you have a young horse or a horse that's super distracted and it's not safe to just walk them on the buckle, then it is okay to take up a little bit of a contact. But the walk is a really important gait to just allow your horse to really stretch and move their hocks and move their back and move their stifles and get that swing. And Uma likes to jig a little bit. So again, you know, it's always good to spend that time at the walk because the walk is also an important gait when you are competing. So once I've spent some time walking on a loose rein, then I usually take up the contact and I keep my horse still a little bit low and a little bit stretching. Again, the walk is really important to establish the rhythm and the relaxation. So I just want to feel that clear 4-beat rhythm, and then I'm just working on getting my horse relaxed at the walk. So a great exercise to do is to do some circles and some serpentines at the walk. And here I'm encouraging my horse to just walk and stay at a nice low frame. I'm asking her to bend a little bit to the inside. And again, I'm focusing just on the base of the training scale where we're talking about rhythm, suppleness, and connection. So every horse's warm-up is a little bit different, and you just have to figure out what works best for your horse and establish a warm-up routine, and then stick to that routine when you're at a show or at a clinic or at a new place. So once I've spent a good, 10-15 minutes at the walk, then I go up to the trot. And with this horse, I start her out at the trot in kind of a horizontal balance. I don't want to start her out too low because she's a horse that already tends to go a little bit on the forehand. With some of my other horses, like I'll put in a little image of my young horse Kensington, but with him, I do start him out quite low in the warm-up, because he's a horse that's built with a very upright neck, and so starting him out really low and round is beneficial. With this horse, I start her out in kind of a horizontal balance and in a little bit of a slower trot. So again, depending on the horse, but with this horse, I start her out in a slow trot and a horizontal balance. And again, I always, in the warm-up, am doing lots of circles and serpentines. So circles and serpentines are a great way to work on suppleness and establishing that connection. And then I'm also thinking about the rhythm. So I want a nice steady trot rhythm, steady tempo, and steady contact. And you see I'm riding now a 3-loop serpentine. So you want to do lots of circles and bending lines in your warm-up, because the bending lines help to get your horse supple and relaxed and focused. So once I've done my trot, I go up to the canter rather quickly. And then one of the best exercises for warming up your dressage horse is trot-canter trot transitions. So again, these transitions are really working on getting your horse supple, getting your horse in front of the leg, getting your horse focused. And it's important though that when you're working on these transitions, that you want to spend enough time in between the transitions to get a good quality gait. So the quality of your transition is always related to the quality of the gait that you have before the transition. So like here, I'm taking my time to get a nice trot going, and then I'm going to make a transition to the canter. That was pretty good. And now I'm going to take my time getting a nice canter going. And you'll notice that the transition should get better. Like usually your first transition to canter isn't the best, but the more that you spend time repeating these transitions, then they will get better and better. Good girl. And then once I've done a few to the left, I'm going to do a few to the right. For me personally, in the warm-up, I always like to start out on my horse's easier lead, because I think that that gives you just a little more of a chance to get your horse warmed up going the easy direction before you start going the hard direction. That's my personal preference. I don't know, you can let me know in the comments if you do it this way. But I guess that comes from riding young horses, is that I would always canter them the easy way first to get their confidence and get them relaxed, and then go the hard way. So like with Uma, her left lead canter is a little easier, so that's why I started on the left lead. And now I'm focusing on these transitions. Now in the transitions, again, I'm focusing on rhythm. So I want the trot rhythm, that it goes 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 and canter. I don't want it to go faster. And then the canter rhythm, I want to feel a clear 3 beats. So it's 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. And sometimes horses, the rhythm in the canter, that's where horses can get a little 4-beated. So a really important part of your warm-up is getting a good rhythm to your canter. And then suppleness has to do with physical and mental relaxation, but then just also the feeling that your horse is elastic and supple and movable. You know, that I can bend her a little, that I can give a little, that I can think about getting her body to be bending here on the circle line. All of those things are really important pieces of your warm-up. And trot again. Good. And so as I'm going here in the warm-up, you see how she's starting to move out a little bit more. She's starting to accept the contact and chew the bit a little bit more. So that's really the goal of my warm-up. I would say that the warm-up segment, like the trot canter that I do in the warm-up, is kind of a longer segment than maybe I do later on in my ride, because I just want to kind of think about getting the blood flowing. I usually do it in the rising trot on most horses, but you can do it in the sitting trot if that's better for you. And then at the end of my warm-up, I like to test my warm-up by doing a little bit of a stretch in the trot. So I just am going to slowly give the reins. I'm focusing that the trot rhythm is staying exactly the same. So a lot of horses, when you go to let them stretch, they either want to speed up or slow down, and I really want to focus that she just maintains this nice, exact, steady tempo in the trot, that I can give a little the reins and she maintains her balance and her self-carriage. So the stretch circle really is the ultimate test of relaxation. So suppleness and relaxation, and also connection, because this is a test of if she's accepting the contact. And in order for a horse to stretch and put their head this low, they really have to be relaxed, because when their head is low, they can't be looking around for predators. So that's why this exercise is really good to put in at the end of your warm-up. And then after that, I usually let my horse walk, give them a loose rein, and let them walk a few rounds before I start my real work. So this is just an example of what I do with my horse. Like I said, every horse's warm-up is a little bit different, and you really want to get your horse supple in the warm-up. I think that's the most important thing. If you are having trouble with the suppleness, check out the link below. I have a workshop about suppleness where I do like a few exercises to work on suppleness, some groundwork exercises to work on suppleness, because if you're having trouble getting your horse to relax, I always recommend working on it from the ground. And then there's also a lecture in there on suppleness, so be sure to check that out. But it's always important to just establish a routine with your horse where you do more or less the same warm-up every day. It might vary how long you spend in the warm-up. Like if your horse has had a few days off, the warm-up phase might be a little bit longer. If it's the end of the week and your horse has worked hard and it's super hot, then the warm-up phase might be a little bit shorter. But the more that you can establish a routine that you follow every day, the more efficient your warm-up is going to get, and also the easier it's going to be to get your horse on the aids and to get your horse relaxed. And then that warm-up routine should carry over to when you're at a show or at a clinic or in a new environment, and it will give your horse confidence and security that you just follow that same routine. So I hope you enjoy this video. Be sure to let me know in the comments what your favorite warm-up exercise is and if this video was helpful. That's it.